Are we in a buyer's market in the mountains of Colorado right now? I hear from a lot of people that think we are. One of my favorite bands from the 90s is coming to Dillon, and I'm going to give you a tour of the best river property in the market on Summit County. Ever dreamed of living in the heart of the Colorado mountains? Join me, Matt Dayton, Breckenridge native, Olympian, and mountain real estate expert. Here on the Ski Summit Show, we dive into everything you need to know about buying, investing, and living in iconic ski towns like Breckenridge, Frisco, and Keystone. From mountain real estate trends to investment opportunities, we bring you on the inside to help you make the most of your mountain life.
Greetings and welcome to episode 119 of the Ski Summit Show, where you get to hear all the latest news and information, what's going on in the Summit County area. I've got Matt down here in the corner with me. Matt, what are we going to be talking about today?
Hey, Benji, thanks for the intro. We got a little bit about what's happening in Summit County. The Big Head Todd and the Monsters. You remember those guys? Man, they were like one of my favorite 90s bands. I don't know.
Love to hear them. I probably have heard them, I guess.
Maybe I'm way older than you. But they're coming to Dillon. That's going to be July 26th. So I think that's worth checking out. They are kind of a old, let's see, what's a little bit of their history. So they started in 1986 in Boulder, so they're a Colorado band. And they're like close to 40 years old. No, they've been doing it for 40 years together. And they're still touring together, so pretty cool. So I got their fame in 1993. Album Sister Sweetly went platinum and spawned hits like Broken Hearted Savior and Bittersweet Circle, Round and Round, all that good stuff. So anyway, if you're a geek like me and you want to get tickets to Big Head Todd and the Monsters, you can go on the Dillon Amphitheater website. That's DillonAMP.com and get tickets for that. I'm gonna. So here's what we got for the article that was in the Summit Daily. Colorado town real estate markets see a surge of new listings, price drops, but is it a buyer's market? So going over this article is definitely pretty interesting to read about what we're seeing in our inventories right now. Basically what they're saying is inventory is up. We've got 1,119 active listings in May of 2025. Which is a 68% increase from May of 2024. So this is definitely approaching pre-COVID levels when there were 1,077 listings in May of 2019. So we're seeing homes sit on the market a lot longer. That's one of the things that they talked about in this article. So it's taken an average of about 88 days to sell over 66 from last year. Buyer activity is a little bit more flat and has been. We've been seeing a lot more price reductions from sellers right now, and that is getting us closer to what we would call a buyer's market. So we got about 6 months of inventory, which is the benchmark. Actually, we're above 6 months of inventory, which is the benchmark for a balance between a buyer's and a seller's market. So we're creeping into that buyer's market. Talks a little bit about the luxury market. And that's still going pretty strong right now for Summit County. So the $5 million plus market, that's still pretty strong. We're not seeing as many of the price reductions there. So people with a lot of money seem to be a little bit more active in the market. So outlook for the summer, kind of going to depend on what we see for July and August. So that's kind of what this article said in a nutshell. If we skip over to the market in a minute,
here we go.
We have let me share this screen, just a sec here. So market in a minute, unpacking this stuff a little bit, what we're seeing right now for pending sales. Well, let's actually go to active listings first. So if you look at active listings, historically, this is totally normal. You know, coming up June, July, this is where we really see the listing inventory increase. It's like you can just set your watch by it, doop, 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 all the way back. So, and then you see those kind of dwindle down as we go into the winter months. For things that are going under contract, kind of got a little bit more erratic, you can see over the past few years. But if you go back to pre-COVID, which if we go kind of into that normal cycle, July and August is typically when things are going under contract. What's that?
Big months.
Big months, definitely big months. So yeah, you got a little blip in March. That's kind of normal. July and August are going to be your big months for going under contract. And then sold, you're kind of seeing that more August, September, October is when the properties that went under contract are closing, and then that all winds down. So you can see we just are seeing a little bit more mellow activity here in these past months. So what's going to be really interesting to see as we go into the months of July and August, later in July, earlier in August, are we going to see those properties going under contract? That's going to be where it's really telling. Here it's a little bit too early to tell. What we can see is that we're getting a lot more inventory coming on the market. So that's going to be a little bit more competitive for sellers. Buyers are going to have more opportunities, I think. And if we don't keep pace with that inventory coming on the market, with buyers coming in, we will definitely see ourselves go into a strong seller's market. So that's your market in a minute.
So that takes us into our listing of the week. And this week we are showing off 5080 Montezuma Road in Keystone, Colorado.
So this is actually the one that I'm standing in front of right now. And
Oh.
my clients, yeah, it's so pretty. My clients were kind enough to let Anders and I camp up there last night. So I'm a little tired.
Cool.
Yeah, but this has got the location. Yeah, check that out. You got the Snake River going down there. And you couldn't see, like here you can see kind of some of the other houses, but when you're on that property, you couldn't see any of these other houses.
So cool.
Yeah. So you got the Snake River kind of coming through there. That's Glacier Peak in the background. Yeah. So it's almost 9 acres. So go back one.
Okay.
That's an old stagecoach.
That
building.
is?
Yeah. That's what the owner was telling me. Like this used to be on like the stagecoach route. So that was an old stagecoach building.
That's so cool.
And yeah, it's got this beautiful Snake River going through it. A lot of the properties on the other side of the valley. This is a rendering of the house that they have designed for it by BHH Partners Architecture, which is a well-known, highly renowned architect up here in Summit County. But absolutely beautiful through this valley.
Are you allowed to do whatever you want with the trees that are on your parcel?
I mean, you can do some fire mitigation stuff, but to just go and like clear them all, you really probably need to get permission. But of course, I mean, these are like old growth, great trees. But clearing out some of these around here, these lodge poles, these are the taller, skinnier ones, getting them away from the building, no problems with that.
Look at that.
Isn't that cool? It's an old ore cart just sitting up on a rock. They've done some fun stuff. It's like, it's improved land. So they've already done a lot of the work. This is a quote unquote pump house on the property, but it's got like a little living area in there. It's got a gas stove. So you could definitely sleep in it.
Did you sleep in it?
We did not, actually.
Were you camping for real? Like outside?
Yeah, we camped up there. I had a little rooftop tent on top of my Land Cruiser, and
oh, cool.
yeah, so we camped up there last night. It was really nice of them to let us do that.
Well, that's cool.
So
$1,150,000 for this listing. That's really neat.
Yeah, so just a gorgeous property. Pretty excited to see what somebody does with it. I'd love to see somebody build that house from BHH Partners. It just looks like right behind me. This is the view. You got the river. Move out of the way. You got the mountain over here, and it just takes you straight into that. So
does the pump house stay with that house, or
yeah, it stays there. Somebody could just use it as a little shed, a little, I don't know, playhouse for kids or whatever.
That's cool. I'd love to just have the stream. That's so neat.
Oh yeah, we just laid there last night, listened to that, woke up to it this morning. It's great.
That's really cool. All right, and that's it. That's all I've got for the show today.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Benji. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Please, anytime, come and join us here in Summit County. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And always like a thumbs up and subscribe. Hope to see you sometime in the mountains